preparation, and I know so many of you have been praying for me through that as well. So I just want to thank you for that. I love to daydream. I really always have, and being an only child, I had so many alone opportunities to just get very, very lost in my own make-believe worlds. As I got older and interested in books, I fell in love with two main series, The Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I loved these so much because I love a good mystery, a good challenge, and something exciting to solve where there are a lot of surprises along the way. I would read these books and pretend that I was Nancy Drew. But other times, I would try to race her to solve the case, seeing if I could guess who had done it before I got to the end of the book and she proved me right or wrong. I have a really unique brain, and I am genetically programmed to pick up every little detail and very quickly see how they all connect together. It's almost as if my brain is a computer trying to tie all the necessary information together, just like that red yarn that they use on all those case boards trying to connect the dots. But when I'd be in class and be told to put my books away and have to pay attention to the lesson, sometimes I had a really hard time, and I was just, again, trying to solve the case in my latest Nancy Drew read. I would also walk home from school a lot, and so can't read and cross the street at the same time, or you really shouldn't. So on my way home, I would just try to imagine and make up my own case to see if I can make it complex enough where it would be a challenge for someone like Nancy Drew to actually solve it. But there's a pretty big difference between childhood daydreaming and literary adventures and the holy imagination of what is to come, spurring us on to pave the way for the Lord. Often when we make believe, we're attempting to escape our current reality, whether that's just boredom or a bad circumstance. Daydreaming allows us to really step out of our day-to-day and go on adventures, although these are rarely, if ever, grounded in reality. The type of imagination I would like to talk to us about today is a holy imagination. This is more than a game, and it's meant to carry more weight than just a fun pastime. An imagination grounded in the coming reality of Jesus' return. This imagination doesn't actually pull us out of our day-to-day life. Instead, it grounds us and changes the way that we truly live our daily lives as we desire to focus on becoming partners with God in God's redemptive plan for all of creation. This is a future reality. It is not yet, but it is coming. We see this future reality in Isaiah 11, verses 1 through 10, which we'll read now. A shoot will come from the stump of Jesse. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and the Spirit of might, the Spirit of the knowledge and the fear of the Lord. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes or decide by what he hears with his ears. But with righteousness he will judge the needy. With justice he will give decisions for the poor of the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth. With the breath of his lips he will slay the wicked. Righteousness will be his belt, and faithfulness the sash around his waist. The wolf will live with the lamb. The leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf and the lion and the yearling together, and the little child will lead them. The cow will feed with the bear. Their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox. The infant will play near the cobra's den, and the young child will put its hand into the viper's nest. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. In that day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the peoples. The nations will rally to him, and his resting place will be glorious. When Isaiah wrote these words, he was living in a time of major injustice, overwhelming violence, and grievous division. God called Isaiah to remind God's people of hope a powerful coming peace, and to continue to live lives of justice and righteousness. Today, I see a lot of injustice all around us, violence closer than we want to acknowledge. And this is the most divided and ridiculously confusing time that I have felt living in our country. The problem then and the problem now is the same. The world has not yet been restored. All of creation is groaning for the turn of our Messiah. Moreover, we don't just suffer in our world, but sometimes we are complicit in the division and the injustice and the conflict of our world. It's a fact that we've all contributed to our own pain and to the pain of others, and that we've all suffered unjustly at one time or another. We need to be forgiven and redeemed for the times where we have fallen short of God's glory and added to the chaos of our world. We need to be reconciled and restored from the pain and suffering that we have endured in this world. We need the same message of hope and endurance today as the people did in Isaiah's time. We know that Jesus is coming again. And this season of Advent, we wait upon Jesus' second coming. We hope for and anticipate the Lord's return. We are being called to be a people of imagination. So as we continue, what can we begin to imagine? The stump of Jesse represents decay, being cut down, destroyed, hopelessness, that mostly dead feeling, But the roots of the stump of Jesse show us that the Lord has sustained us and has fulfilled us and helped us just survive. And this branch coming from the stump of Jesse shows that the Messiah is coming again. So we are sustained in our darkest moments, and the Lord is bringing us a way out of those as well. God's restorative and redemptive work will be completed when Jesus returns. So while we wait, we can do so confidently, knowing that God is always at work even now, even when we can't see God at work, and even in the situations where we don't feel like anything is changing. God has a future planned beyond what any of us can see. This is our opportunity for a holy imagination. All of creation will be restored. There will be no decay, no disaster. Every tear will be wiped away. Grief will be no more. Trauma will no longer burden us. Sickness will not touch us. Fear will have no hold on us, and death itself will be swallowed up in victory. Jesus is Emmanuel, the King who carries God's presence with him. When Jesus returns, a kingdom of justice and righteousness will be established. Jesus is our advocate, and Jesus advocates for all those in need, poor, vulnerable, overlooked, humble, and meek. God sees us, all of us. God sees you. God has not forgotten you, nor the promises that God has made to you. We will all be judged with righteousness, and God will make all things right. Betrayal and isolation will cease to exist. Justice will be unavoidable. Every wrong will be made right. Every wound will be accounted for. Corruption and oppression will be no more. Righteousness and faithfulness define who Jesus is and how Jesus leads. Jesus restores the world by setting wrong things right, starting in us. Where have we been complicit in the current hardship of our world? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm certainly not perfect. I've struggled to be fully present with God when there have been distractions by outside factors. I've certainly lacked diligence and dedication at different times in my life. I've been fearful to speak up, causing me to miss out on opportunities to show God's love to others in complex situations. Marriage has told me that I have to learn how to face my fears and work with Christ to heal old wounds. And the thing I don't like the most is Marriage has told me that I can have selfish thinking, and that's going to lead me into selfish actions. But the story isn't over for me, and it's not over for you either. While we do need to look into our mirror, be honest about our own shortcomings, we can rest in the fact that God's mercies are new every morning. God's love, compassion, and forgiveness never runs out. We can still embody Emmanuel's righteousness and faithfulness in our lives. But what does this look like in our homes, in our workplaces, and in our relationships? Well, first, I recommend constantly inviting God into every aspect of our lives and praying continually throughout each day and sometimes moment by moment. And this might look like getting up early or staying up a little later to have a quiet moment between you and the Lord, depending on Jesus to sustain you for the next 24 hours coming your way. This may look like showing your spouse or children extra measures of grace and patience when the mornings are stressful, most of you are ready to get out the door, but someone still won't put their shoes on. This looks like taking extra time with a client at work to speak with kindness to them instead of convenience so you can rush off to do the next task at hand. This looks like being pillars of hope in our relationships, whether that be encouraging your spouse. Yes, money is tight, but God's faithful, God's always provided for us, and God will continue to do so. Or it may be holding a friend's hand as she grieves the loss of someone that she loves and telling her that you know that it hurts, but reminding her that she will see this person again in glory. This confident hope and steadfast peace allows us to slow down, to meet people where they are. And Jesus meets us where we are every moment of every day. To be empowered to embody Emmanuel's righteousness and faithfulness, it is imperative that we begin to imagine what the coming peace of the Lord will be like. Shalom is the peace that brings wholeness. Perfect unity, love, and peace will rest, rule, and reign when all of creation is restored. There will be harmony between what was once natural enemies. This means that I'll stop killing spiders in my home because I'll no longer have a need to fear that they're going to bite me. And I will see lions and lambs together laying down in the grass. And this one really blows my mind, but I will allow my child, my baby, to play with the viper. That will someday happen, not quite yet though. But this is so much more than just a taming of creation. This is actually renewing the very nature of creation. In the Garden of Eden, there were no natural enemies. That wasn't a thing. Nothing like that existed. So this is not a taming. This is more powerful than that. This is the full and complete renewing of the very nature of creation of all of us. This means that peace will envelop every relationship. It will remove what was once dangerous and will put fear to rest once and for all. This is the redemptive end that God is working towards. The completion is what we are awaiting. Shalom, perfect peace, not just the absence of conflict or wars, but a wholeness of restoration will abound. Verse 9 tells us that those who are once natural enemies will neither harm nor destroy on my holy mountain. Imagine with me what it would be like living in a world where fear no longer shapes relationships, decisions, or nations. Where every tribe, every tongue, and every nation worships together as one family. The peace that Jesus will bring to completion will supply us with the depths of the intimate knowledge of God that we do not yet fully grasp. When Christ returns, we will see him face to face. The glory of God will fill everything. We will experience the unceasing, inescapable presence of our God. The whole earth will be filled with the knowledge of God. As the Lord heals the world and all of creation is transformed, we and all of creation will experience total redemption, reconciliation, and restoration. Jesus has already begun to break the cycles of fear and hostility and division in our lives. This is an invitation to all of us. The nations will rally to him means that all are welcomed, invited, and encouraged to enter into a relationship with God and to join the redemptive work being done for God's glory and our good. This will take place. Our hope is certain. God keeps God's promises. God has already begun to restore all things, and we get to join God in this mission. So imagine with me once more what it will be like when Jesus returns. All of creation will be restored. There will be no decay, no disaster. Renewal will flourish across all of creation. Every tear will be wiped away. Grief will be no more. Trauma will no longer burden us. Sickness will not touch us. Fear will have no hold on us, and death itself will be swallowed up in victory. Relationships will be healed. Betrayal and isolation will cease to exist. Families will no longer be fractured. Perfect unity, love, and peace will rest, rule, and reign. Shalom, perfect peace, more than a mere absence of conflict, but a wholeness of restoration will abound. And justice will be unavoidable. Every wrong will be made right. Every wound accounted for. Corruption and oppression will be no more. Our bodies will be made new. No more pain, no more exhaustion. Mental and emotional illnesses will be wiped away, forever undone. Addiction will cease. Every tribe, every tongue, and every nation will worship as one family. When Christ returns, we will finally see him face to face. The glory of God will fill everything, and we will experience the unceasing, inescapable presence of our God. This is the future that Jesus has promised us. This is the kingdom of heaven colliding with earth, the day that we long for with joyful yearning for the completeness, the shalom that our Lord is bringing. Don't you want to be a part of that? I think we all do. We get the opportunity to partner with Christ, being a people of imagination to help bring pieces of heaven to earth. Being a people of imagination, as we imagine, we begin to see what is coming, and that helps us to remain faithful today. We are a people of imagination with confident hope that Christ is coming. Therefore, we carry hope into hopeless spaces. We practice justice for the vulnerable. We pursue righteousness in our everyday choices. We live as a people of peace and encouragement regardless of circumstances. We hold fast to our confident hope that Jesus, who came once, will come again, ushering in the fullness of restoration. We look for and we seize every opportunity to bring pieces of heaven to earth and peace to the world. But what does this look like? In all honesty, this can look like so many things. But a few ideas? Carrying hope into hopeless spaces can look like making time to sit in the sorrow of others, allowing yourself to be uncomfortable so that the ones that you love know that they're not alone. And you don't have to have all the right answers or all the right words. Simply just being present, loving them like Jesus, and carrying them to Jesus in prayer. Practicing justice for the vulnerable, again, I think of a myriad of options, but something I try to do is when I leave my home, be intentional to smile and to look in the eyes of those around me, letting them know that they're seen and they're valued, regardless of how different we may be. Also, if you maybe run into someone in your homeless community, you could take them out to lunch, hear a little bit of their story. Pursuing righteousness in our everyday choices can look like doing what's right when no one's looking. But I often think of how Jesus and the gospel are misrepresented in our nation, and that so many assumptions of Christianity and Christians are built off of misrepresentations and unfaithful representations of Christ. So, when we see these misrepresentations or know that these assumptions are present, we can step into these situations, holding fast to our convictions while remaining a peaceful presence for the unbeliever, trying to give them a true representation of how Jesus would meet them where they are. Living as a people of peace and encouragement regardless of circumstances, well, maybe we don't have to lose our cool when we're cut off in traffic. Maybe we don't have to yell in our vehicle, stress everyone else out in our car, throw an inappropriate gesture, or honk on our horn. Maybe we can just let it go, knowing, yeah, that was rude. But who knows what's going on? Maybe they're trying to get to the hospital and I can give some grace. Holding fast to our confident hope that Jesus returns, well, what helps me be encouraged to do this is memorizing scripture. My favorite is Psalms 27:13 through 14. This reminds us that even on our hardest days, that God is faithful, that we will see the goodness of God on this side of glory, and that we can wait confidently because we know that this will come to pass. And finally, looking for and seizing every opportunity to bring pieces of heaven to earth, peace to the world. We find a third place. Pastor Steve talked about this third place a few weeks ago. It's a place unnecessary to go to in our schedules. It has nothing to do with home or work or school or anything like that. But it's a place that we choose to frequent, being on the lookout for opportunities to love people who are different from us without worrying about needing to preach to them first. This is only the beginning of what it means to be a people of peace and a people of imagination. To be active partners with Christ in the coming restoration of the world. As we go from this place, let us keep our hearts centered in Christ, our eyes attentive to the world around us, our ears tuned to the experiences that are not our own, that we may be the hands and feet of Christ at home, at work, in our neighborhoods, grocery stores, community, and everywhere that we find the Lord sending us.